Good morning. Good morning. I am very excited to be here to talk with you about how to pivot in times of challenge and give you some solid strategies. Hopefully, this will add value and help you as you are kind of navigating through everything that's going on in your business or in your life at this time. So I'm just gonna take a second and introduce myself. Again, my name is Carol Mendoza, and I am with IPD Coaching. Um, I I think like most of us, we are dealing with a lot of different things. So I'm going to jump right into this training and hope that, again, as it will add value to you and to those that you are influencing as a leader. Um, the first thing, and I'm going to go back and just share my screen and we'll go from there. Um, so the first thing that I want to talk about is the P in pivot, and the P in pivot is position. Positioning yourself at this time in your life and in your business. When I was playing basketball as a high school student, I was the forward, and my job was to get in front of the ball, get in front of whoever was going to go down and make a basket on the opposing team. So I had to be in front of that opposition, in front of that person. And this situation, and whenever we're faced with some kind of a challenge, we need to get in front of that person. We need to get in front of the opposition. So that's the first thing. The other thing is you also need to take a stand. You need to figure out what it is that you are going to do, how you're going to act, and then you have to stay consistent. You have to stay in place. When I was playing and I got in front of that person with the ball, my job was to be like a brick wall. I was supposed to stay there and not let them get by and not let them move around me. I was supposed to be totally and 100% in place. So that's the same thing with this. Once you decide what position you're going to take with this and what attitude you're going to have, you want to make sure that you stay in place, that you are consistent with that, and you do not move or waver, because nobody likes a wishy-washy leader. Nobody likes to follow somebody who is not certain about what they're doing. Now, you can be uncertain, but you don't want to be unclear. You can be uncertain about something, but you don't want to be unclear. And Andy Stanley actually said a leader can afford to be uncertain, but they cannot afford to be unclear. So that is super, super important. And gaining clarity is another area that is important at this time as you're trying to figure out what position you are going to take. Clarity is super important. So one of my favorite ways of getting clarity is by doing a brain dump. And what is a brain dump? It's basically taking a sheet of paper, taking a pen, writing every single thing that you're thinking about down on that piece of paper, putting it in writing. Once you have it all written down, you can start to make sense of it. Take a Sharpie, a black magic marker, and cross out every single thing on that list or of what you've written that you cannot control. And once you've done that, then you can make sense of what's left and start to focus on it, start to figure out what's going to be your next step. Prioritize those things. And it is so important that once you do this, that you take a look at it on a regular basis, on a daily basis, and put into practice what it is that you're trying to accomplish, so that you can stay focused and stay clear on what you're trying to accomplish. The next thing that is important in pivoting is your information. Who are you getting your information from? Decide where you're going to turn for that information. Is it a trusted source? Is it accurate? With this specific situation with the coronavirus, we want to make sure that we're looking at our World Health Organization and the CDC for that information. When I was in school and I was studying, we had to make sure that we used peer-reviewed work. We were not allowed to just use something off the internet. Why is that? That's because our internet sources are not always correct and they are not always appropriate. So being very clear about where you're getting your information from is so important. Who holds the remote, so to speak, on your thoughts, your ideas, and your opinions? Who is it that you are allowing to get in there and feed that information to you? Go into Facebook and go into the internet and go into these other sources. I just want to recommend that you kind of stay away from it. One of the things that is very important to recognize is that we are not in a crisis that like has never been seen before. We've had crisis for over the last 10 years or more. We've had a lot of crisis. 20 years we've had crisis. I remember back in 2000 when we were going to January 1st, 2000, they were saying, oh my gosh, we're going to wake up on January 1st and we're not going to have anything running. Everything's going to be shut down. That was a big concern. In 2001, I think it was, that we had the anthrax. Don't open any letters. It could have some be tainted with anthrax. We've had the bird flu. We've had problems and threats with ISIS and the Disney measles and the West Nile virus. I mean, we are not, how do I say, we've had these types of situations before. The difference right now, I think, is our media. Unfortunately, with everything that's happening with the president and what have you, the media has taken such a front seat to everything. And so we are constantly bombarded with things. And I don't know that information is the best. So that's just my recommendation. You obviously can make that decision for yourself as to what you want to do, but I would definitely not, be looking at media and things like that. I would go to trusted sources like the World Health Organization and the CDC. The V in pivot is vision. What is your vision? Are you clear? Are you focused? John C. Maxwell said, just because someone else's sky is falling doesn't mean yours is too. And I think that we need to really look at that, because not everybody has the same perspective on the same thing. Not everybody looks at the same situation or the situation in the same way. And we need to be very careful about what we are allowing ourselves to focus on and what distractions we're allowing ourselves to get into our space. We have, as human beings, I think that we allow ourselves a lot of times to let our mind wander and think about what things could go wrong, or focusing on things that are happening right at the moment and thinking, oh, what if? We don't always think what if in a positive way. We think what if in a negative way. And so my recommendation is that we really pay attention to what it is that we're thinking about. Don't focus on those types of things. Watch your distractions. Watch what is distracting you. Something that I would really recommend is that you keep track of what it is that you want to do on a daily basis. What am I going to listen to today? Here's five questions you can ask yourself. So you might want to write these down. What can I listen to today that will be positive and help me to get to where I want to go? What can I read today that could be positive and help me to get where I want to go? Who do I need to talk to today what do I need to do today? And really just focus on those things, because that will help you to stay on track and get to where you want to go. So battle those distractions. Those are, it's a real important part of pivoting. Be intentional with your thoughts. Consider how your thoughts are making you feel, and consider the pattern and the direction in which your thoughts are leading you. So if a thought is not serving you in some way, you need to kind of get rid of it or change it, okay? The O in pivot is, are you seeing things as an obstacle or an opportunity? As you're looking through your glasses and you're looking through at this situation, don't look too far ahead, and don't look at what's up close either. You need to have a good balance between the two, because otherwise you will drive yourself crazy. If you're focused too much on what's going on right now, and reading and reading and reading and looking and watching and paying attention, that's going to drive you crazy. And if you think too much into the future, you'll get into that what if situation, and that can drive you crazy as well. So are you looking at things as an opportunity or as an obstacle as well? I think if you think about what you're thinking about, and you focus on what is it that I can do right now, not what is being taken from me or what am I losing right now, but what can I do, that can be very, very helpful as well. You have to start thinking outside the box. And I want to share with you one of my friends who has an Italian restaurant in Florida. She put on Facebook, and I thought it was so great. She put on Facebook that they are selling selling kits on how to make different meals. So they're selling a kit on making pizza. Take it home. You can buy the kit and they'll deliver it to you, and you can make the pizza at home, and they give you all the necessary ingredients. Same with some meals. And so I thought that was a great idea. So if you're a restaurant owner, that might be something you could do too. But thinking outside the box, what could I do that differently right now, given the circumstances? How could I think outside the box? The other thing is to really pay attention to what you are saying right now. The media is not very positive, and they say a lot of things that can be construed as quite negative, like this is concerning, or this is troublesome, or this is not meant to frighten you. Well, then what are you trying to do then? If you're not trying to frighten me, now you've just made me get scared, you know? So those are words that we have to be careful about when we are communicating to others in our team, in our organizations. We want to have words of hope. We want to say things like, I want to reassure you. I want to strengthen your confidence in me. I want to really lift you up. I want to, inspire you, encourage you. But, let's create a system, or let's sit down and plan an idea together. Let's do something. Let's implement something new. Let's try a different way. I think when you start to speak that way, you actually can feel it. It feels different. It feels better, right? So that's important as well. So watching what we're saying is truly important. What happens to you when you are squeezed and under pressure? If we look at this picture, it's a picture of a lemon. And, if we squeeze a lemon, we're going to get out lemon juice, right? When we are struck with, some kind of a crisis or some kind of a challenge, or we're under pressure, that's when the inside of us is really revealed. And if you haven't been taking time to really work on you and develop yourself personally and professionally, you may not be liking what you're seeing right now. You may be feeling a lot of anxiety, a lot of negativity, a lot of stress, and you just might be going in a downward spiral. So I want you to know that you can stop it right now. You can stop it, and you can start to move in a different direction. You can start to think differently right now and get there. during this time, you're either an optimist, a pessimist, or a realist. And I want to kind of, I'm kind of address this. When unexpected winds arise, an optimist will expect it to eventually stop, yet do nothing about it. The pessimist will complain about the wind, but still take no action. The captain, or the realist, however, will adjust the sails. And that was paraphrased from my mentor, John Maxwell. So what are you at this point? Are you being very optimistic and not really thinking about doing something? Are you being very pessimistic, or are you taking action? Are you thinking about looking at this situation and saying, you know what, I'm going to do something about this? So this is where you can take, and you can, the O in pivot, and really look at things as an opportunity, not as an obstacle. You want to take that action, and that's the T in pivot, taking action. This is where the push comes to shove. This is where you need to step out and really try. So remember, more is more. More fear gets more fear. More confidence gets more confidence. More positive gets more positive. Are you following me? So really think about what you want more of and start working on that right now. Establishing your trust tree. If you're a parent, you're not going to go run to your kids and say, oh my gosh, everybody's going to get sick and this is a terrible time and what have you. You're going to protect your kids from that. So the same holds true if you are a leader, if you are working on a business, if your business is struggling right now. You don't want to run and create more drama. You want to kind of establish a trust tree. You want to make sure that things are filtered out to the branches in such a way that everything can continue to grow. So really think about that. Consider all your dimensions. When I talk about this, I think about like a flat circle or a round ball. And if you have a flat circle, you really don't have any dimension to that. You're basically stuck with what you got, okay? And you don't have a lot of choices. But when you have a round ball in your hand, and if you have a squishy ball or you have something you can look at, and I say to you that ball is your problem, the ball is your issue. And I want you to find the points. How many different ways can you solve this problem? And they're on the points on the ball. Well, there's no points on a ball. So you have infinite solutions. That's where you need to be right now. You need to think about all the different ways that you can expand, that you can go, that you can make something happen for yourself right now. Be the lighthouse keeper. If the winds were coming at the lighthouse and it was absolutely horrible, and that it's the old days. Let's go back to the old days when they used to have to put wood on the fire to make the light happen, okay? They used to have to bring the wood in. They had to keep the fire going. They had to make sure that the fire didn't go out, because if the fire went out, then there would be a crash on the seas. So I want you to think of yourself as that lighthouse keeper. Right now, you have to keep the fire going. You have to make sure that you don't let the wind blow it out, that you continue to get the materials. And so, yeah, this might mean that you're going to be working extra. You're going to be putting in more hours than you've ever put before. You're brainstorming and talking with other individuals, and you're coming up with solutions. That may be true, and this is something that you want to really look at right now. This is the time to really put that energy into your business, into yourself, into what you're doing. So personal development, personal growth, professional development, looking at your business from all kinds of dimensions and really strategizing and getting with people that you trust to discover some new ideas. And then engage your network. Listen, this is probably, the best time for you to start, if you haven't already, getting yourself out there on social media, getting yourself out there and building a name for yourself. figuring out how you can connect with your public, with your customers, with your friends. Get back in touch with old friends from school. Get back in touch with whoever. I saw online one of my classmates is going to do a Zoom class reunion. He just said, let's get everybody on and let's do a Zoom class reunion. I think this is great. This is an opportunity for you to really engage your network, to get out there and be that voice of hope, be that voice of consistency, be that person that is going to literally change the direction of things. You can pivot. You can position yourself now in front of this. Position yourself and stay in your position. Don't be wishy-washy, right? Watch where you're getting your information from in that, the I, P-I. Watch where you're getting your information from. Make sure that it's accurate. Make sure that you are not feeding yourself with information that is going to create more anxiety and fear. Vision, V. Make sure that you are focused on your vision. Get clarity. Make sure that you're sitting down and you're really getting clear with how you think about things and what you're doing and where you see yourself going and what's going to happen after this storm passes over. Are you looking at things as an obstacle or an opportunity? Can you get yourself to focus on the opportunity? Watch your words. Watch how you're talking about things. Watch how you're thinking about things. Really look for the silver lining, so to speak, and then take some action. Really take action and work harder than you've ever worked before to put yourself in a position, because this crisis, this situation is going to end. And once it ends, what are you going to do? If you sit back and just watch right now, or you allow yourself to get caught up in the what ifs, and you don't take action, you are not going to put yourself in a position of pivoting and making something happen for yourself and for your organization. Thank you so much for your time and your attention. I hope that this has been helpful. If I can do anything for you, I am actually available. I'm clearing my calendar to make sure that I'm available to you and give you some opportunities to speak with me. Totally free. I'm not asking for anything. I just want to help in any way that I can. If you need a second perspective, a third perspective, or a first perspective, whatever it is that you need, I am available to you. Please reach out to me and let me know. I wish you an amazing day, and thank you so much again for your time, for your attention, and I hope this added value to you. Thanks so much. Have a great one.